Hi, today I'm going to go over some of the modifications to my 98 Stratus after a couple people have asked about seeing some of my autocross videos. Here in PA, I run SCCA in the Pittsburgh area in the SMF class. So, start off here with the engine. Originally was the 2.5 V6 in this car. Now it has the 3-liter out of a Mitsubishi Eclipse or Stratus RT. Removed all the ugly plastic bottles. 19-pound injectors were upgraded to 21. And ran the cold air intake where the battery used to be. As you can see, we have the front strut tire bar here. Also, underdrive pulley, upgraded some cooling, added oil cooler, tranny cooler, and new factory radiator. Here you can see the actual where the filter sits for the cold air. Go to the back now so you can see where the battery is at now and the rear strut tire bar. Pretty easy to run the battery back just along the door panels. And there is the C-pillar bar. Strut tire bar. I'll show you the C-pillar bar next. Alright, here is, well, there's the harness bar. We pulled the factory leather seats out because they were extremely heavy in power and everything. Ran the harness bar from the second gen Stratuses. Fits right in the first gens pretty easily. Here we have the C-pillar bar. This kind of goes from where the seat belt meets the chassis. Have to cut the plastic there if you actually want to run it. And there's, as you can see, in the SMF class, I have pulled the back seat because you are allowed to. And you can now see, unfortunately, that I have yet to finish tucking the wire away from the battery. We'll go inside here. All V6s in the first gens are automatic 4-speeds. So they can be Tiptronic, slapstick, whatever you want to call it. So what I have done is retrofitted Mercedes paddle shifters to the steering wheel. They work very well. They actually do a very good job. It's actually not too hard to put them in there. You lose your cruise control to use the wires in the clock spring, but it does come in very handy being able to select gears. Now let's go some more on the suspension. Nothing too crazy here, just Konig's 17-inch right now, 7.5, and this year I ran Nitto Neogens. They are 225, 45, and the tread wear is a little low, pretty decent. It could be better, and if I could find the tread wear, I could remember real quick. But anyway, it's a 280 tread wear. There it is. Now, as far as suspension, we have eibach Pro springs and Monroe gasmatic 2 struts. A combination fairly easy to set up. And as you can see here, as I point to it, is a moog adjustable upper ball joint. So it allows you to get either correct from being lowered, your negative camber, or for this application, if you wanted to get a little bit more negative camber out of the tire for track use. I'd go with Moogs. I had another brand in there, and they did not last very long. As far as the brakes on the front, slot and dimpled, and Hawk carbon ferro pads. The one thing you might want to notice if you are trying to set up one of these cars is, I don't know if we can see it, the knuckle is either stamped with a 15 or 14, and that is the factory tire size. If it's a 14, the rotors are slightly smaller by an inch or half an inch, and I have the 15. I also have gotten the rear discs off of Chrysler Cirrus. You can find them, they bolt on fairly easily. And same spring and strut in the back, obviously. In the rear here, if I can get underneath, I have put in an Adco rear sway bar upgrade and a rear lower frame brace. You mostly see these on the Civics, but the rear end's kind of similar. Keep that, channel there from flexing at all. If you upgrade the rear sway bar, if I can get a shot of it, there is a bracket that is on the newer Stratuses over here. If I can show you this bracket here that bolts there and sandwiches in between the mount. If you upgrade the rear sway bar and do not put this bracket in, you will break this factory bracket here quite a lot. I found that out the hard way. And since putting in this bracket here, have no longer had these getting damaged or destroyed. So I would go to a junkyard and try to find those brackets. They're pretty cheap and well worth the hassle of changing these out when they break. A little bit better shot of the spring and strut setup back here and the rear disc swamp. We'll go to the front now and have another brace like in the rear, and it sits right here. As you can see right there, goes across, mounts to the subframe there, sort of close to the bracket, help a little bit with any unnecessary flexing. And on here, it still has the cat. I have a magnaflow muffler cat back. They don't make one for these cars, so if you want one, you'll have to make it yourself. And that is basically it as far as how it's set up. Fairly simple, does pretty well.